Hey guys, Sherry from the Watering Mouth here. All right, we're always talking about mindset, right? It's like mindset this, mindset that. The reason we're talking about mindset is because mindset is like 80-90% of the whole equation when it comes to losing weight and eating healthy for the rest of your life and loving it, right? That's what we always talk about on my channel. The Watering Mouth is about helping you learn the mindset, some recipes too, but learning the mindset so that you will lose that weight finally, keep it off, and eat healthy, doing it by eating healthy, right? Forever, for good, for the last time, and actually like loving the whole thing, loving the process, loving the food, loving everything. This is what makes it long term. So this is why we're always talking about mindset, because mindset is the thing that we need to shift to go from the mindset of where we were, which is not eating healthy, eating lots of junk food, maybe binging, gaining weight every year, stuff like that, to the mindset of somebody who can do this for life easily. So today I want to talk to you about 3 mindset hacks that are going to get you to those goals, get you to lose weight, keep it off forever, and also to just eat healthy forever and love that in a society that's full of junk food, right? All right, so let's talk about number 1. The number 1 hack that I'm going to tell you about your mindset is that you have to love you now. Most of the time when we end up losing weight for however long we might lose it for a day, we might lose it for a half day, we might lose it for a week and we gain it back, or for a year and we gain it back. It's because a lot of us will hate ourselves thin, right? So you're looking in the mirror or you look down at your stomach and you're like, oh my gosh, I hate my stomach so much. I have to lose the weight. I'm so frustrated. I'm just gonna, fill in the blank here, which might be fast for 4 days, or I'm gonna do keto, or I'm gonna, do whatever sort of fad thing it is to just drop the weight really quick. Or, and the thing is, the reason we're doing it is because we're looking in the mirror and we're hating ourselves enough to make a quick, drastic change so that we can just get some results now and feel better, right? We're just trying to feel better. The reason that we want to lose the weight is because we feel like it's going to make us feel better, right? Which is not actually the truth. Feeling better has to happen now. Feeling better has to happen now and for the whole process so that we will end up at the finish line and then have the finish line keep going for the rest of our lives, right? So we have to love ourselves now instead of hating ourselves to some quick fix. We've got to figure out how to love ourselves now. So how do we do that? Well, one of the main things, and I want to make clear, I don't mean that you have to love everything about your body. You don't have to be like, oh, here, my struggle right now is my tummy after my, postpartum twin pregnancy. It's my tummy now that I'm not super happy with. You don't have to love the way it looks, right? You don't have to condone yourself looking like this forever, but you don't have to hate your body, right? So people are always saying well, can you just appreciate what the body did for you and what it went through? Yeah, exactly. Can you appreciate why your tummy is the way it is? Can you appreciate why your body looks the way it does? Because of whatever you went through in your life. That's why you look exactly the way you do. And can you appreciate that, right? You don't have to appreciate exactly how you look. You might want to improve how you look, or up level, or biohack, or whatever it is to make yourself look a certain way, just for your own personal preference. There's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with wanting to look a certain way. But when it gets tough is when we're actually hating ourselves to look a certain way. And we hate ourselves so much that we get into a pattern of, hating ourselves. And then that ends up creating the overeating, right? So it'll go with these little spurts of, oh, I'm just not going to eat for 3 days, or I'm going to do a water fast, or I'm going to do this fad diet or something. And we kind of do this, just drastic measure to lose that weight. And then because we've been doing it because we hated ourselves, or because we hated something about ourselves, we end up gaining it right back because it wasn't a long-term strategy. It wasn't like, let me figure out how to be comfortable with where I am now so that as I lose weight, I'm just comfortable. I'm not in a rush. And when I get there, I get there. and I love myself anyways, no matter what happens, right? Because if you love yourself at the moment that you're doing well, and you love yourself at the moment that you're not doing so well on the diet part, we'll say, then there's no rush, right? There's not like this huge, I've got to get this done right now. So loving yourself is first mindset hack to long-term weight loss and health. Okay, number 2, loving the process. Now, I talked about this a little bit, but I want to sort of give a little bit of a different slant on this, loving the process of doing it, right? So you want to love yourself during the process of all this, but you want to love what it takes to get there too. And I'm going to explain this in terms of food, right? Because the food, so we eat to live on this lifestyle, right? The Nutritarian lifestyle, whole foods, plant-based, no oil, no salt, no sugar, just amazing high nutrient foods. If we're coming from the standard American diet, that's a pretty big jump, right? So it could be a gradual thing, or it could be a right away thing, and you just want to get yourself into it, whatever. But loving the process means learning to love the food as you go. Because just as I was talking about with the loving or hating yourself thing and trying to do things really quick, if you're, say, doing just a short spurt of activity to get yourself to a goal, and you're just looking at the finish line, like, oh, it's going to be over in, so many days or so many months or whatever. And once I get there, then I can relax a little bit. That's usually what we think. And I've had this thought pattern so many times in my life, right? But as we're going through this, and if we're sitting here going through and thinking of the moment when we get to revert back to our old habits, or we get to kind of slide back into some of our old habits, we're missing the point, right? The point is to learn to eat these types of foods and love them forever, so that we just stay at our Nutritarian goal weight, so that we just stay on this health trajectory of our health getting better and better and better, instead of our health declining and declining and declining. We want to learn how we can possibly love this food all the time, forever, so that there's not like an end goal. Once we've lost the weight, then we're going to go back to cupcakes, right? We want to get to a point where we don't even think about cupcakes anymore, and we love what we're eating now, right? We love eat to live food. So that's the second mindset hack here, is to figure out how to love the food along the way. So how do we do that, right? Well, first of all, by educating ourselves a lot on how to make this food properly, right? Like if we're just gonna dump a bunch of kale, like let's say we made a salad. In the salad we put in there is a bunch of kale, a bunch of shredded cabbage, a bunch of cooked mushrooms, but no flavorings or anything, and then we just add like a raw red pepper or something, okay? That salad tastes terrible to me. I would never eat a salad like that. Over the years, I've learned so many different things about making a salad that really create this like party in your mouth. And when I eat salads now, I'm truly excited about the salads that I'm eating. I'm truly like, I take a bite, and if I'm hungry enough, I'm like, oh my gosh, this salad is amazing. Then I get to a point where I no longer like the salad. It's because I've eaten enough, and I'm using these natural signals that our body actually has to teach me when to finish eating, and to allow me to be very ready for a salad like that, and to love how it tastes when I first start eating it at that meal. But the only way that we can create things that we really truly love is by experimenting with ingredients, learning different things, trying different things, and getting to the point where we know, for instance, with the salad I just mentioned, you can't just do a base of cruciferous greens like kale and cabbage that's going to taste terrible. Right? You can have bases like that if you treat them properly first. So for instance, if you're going to have a base of salad that's just kale, you want to massage it a little bit first, soften up that kale. You might want to put some lemon juice on it, some nutritional yeast, something like that, to give it some nice flavor and acidity and a little bit of a kick, instead of just that heavy green flavor. You never want to make a salad out of just cabbage, for instance, because that is such a strong cruciferous flavor. You got to have some other things to balance that out, and you might add maybe some grapes to it, or you might add some raisins or some cranberries or an apple or blueberries or something like that to kind of give it carrots even, to give it a different type of a flavor than just that strong cruciferous. But listen, if you haven't experimented with salads and just kept going and just kept trying and experimenting with different things, you would never learn these things about salad. And then you would always just go, ugh, I don't really like salad. I'm not a salad person, right? So it's learning to love the process instead of hating the fact that you're in the process and when is this process going to end. It's learning to love it right now, okay? So that's step number 2. That's mindset hack number 2. And how to lose weight, keep it off, and be healthy forever. All right, so mindset hack number 3 about how to eat healthy and lose weight forever is to shift to forever thinking. Now, this is exactly sort of what I was talking about in these last two tips here. It will sort of all bleed into it here. Shift to forever thinking. Now, I was just thinking about this the other day on my own journey here, because I'm on a weight loss journey too after my pregnancy. And the idea here is that if we're just thinking about the end goal, as I was saying, if we're just thinking about when is this going to be over, that's going to set us up for failure, right? Because then when we get to our weight loss goal, we're just going to be thinking, oh, when can I go back to the cupcakes? Or when can I go back to eating some more of this, right? But then more becomes more and more and more, and then we find ourselves back on our old pattern, right? So shifting to forever thinking is this idea that even if you start off on a challenge, or even if you start off on just a short period of time that you're going to try this, you are trying to shift towards forever thinking, and whenever you catch yourself having a thought, this is important to be aware of your thoughts, which is another thing that we always talk about with mindset, is that our thoughts are everything, right? As we're being aware of our thoughts, if we notice ourselves giving ourselves a timeline, like, okay, when I finally lose the weight in 6 months or whatever, or I have to lose by this wedding, or I can't wait until the weekend when I can have this again, or whatever. The whole time we actually want to be trying to shift out of that type of a thinking, right? And we want to be practicing that as we're going. And I say practice because we don't have to be perfect at it, and we don't ever have to actually be ever perfect at it, but we have to keep working on it. As we're going through our journeys, we constantly catch our thoughts and go, wait a minute, this doesn't have to be a short-term thing, and actually I don't want it to be a short-term thing. How can I love this forever, right? How could I always want to do this? And so you get curious, you kind of drop into this curiosity place where you're trying to figure out how it could even be possible to love this forever and do this forever. And when you start asking those questions of yourself and of your mind, you start to look for answers for those questions. Instead of going like, oh, I could never do this forever, you go, hold on, I hear that thought again. I don't have to believe that thought, right? People do this forever, and I am open to the idea that I might be somebody that could do this forever, but how could that be possible, right? You're in more of a curiosity place rather than I know the answers or I know that they must exist or whatever. You're in a place that's like, right? I wonder how I could do this forever. And just asking those questions in the first place, because oftentimes we don't even start by asking those questions, but just starting to ask those questions, the brain will make up answers and start to guide you on a path of how you could like this forever and how you could be doing this forever. Instead of believing the thought, oh, I could never do this forever, and you just go, yeah, that's totally true. You go, wait a minute, I don't have to believe that thought that I will never do this forever, but I'm not really there yet where I believe I could do it forever. So let me see what is in the middle there, which is something like, I'm open to believing I could be the kind of person who would do this forever, right? I'm curious about how I could do this forever. And so as you're thinking throughout your days, you're making your salad, you're eating your salad, you see something, you crave it, maybe you eat it by mistake or whatever, and then you feel bad about yourself and you're like, oh, I could never do this forever. Then you're like, oh, wait, maybe I could do this forever, but I wonder how. You start asking yourself that question, you're already expanding towards this forever thinking. You're already expanding towards a possibility that it could be forever. And the more and more you think along these lines, the more you question this kind of stuff, the more it starts to become obvious to you how you could. And I don't know the answer to that for you, because it's going to be different in your mind than is in mine. But in my mind, it's like, I kind of get to this point where I'm like, okay, I know people do this forever. I know that I like salads, you know, how could I do this forever and like it? How could I have a salad every day? Could I have a salad, you know? And I remember actually there was this one time where I was messing with this thought here, and I started to think about those people who say, I just eat the same thing every day. And I was like, that sounds like a load of crap to me. Like, who just eats the same thing every day? Those people must hate their life. They must be so sad, right? And actually Googled it. I was like, people who ate the same thing every day, and there were articles about this, and I was like, oh my gosh, cool, there's actual articles about this. So I started questioning that and wondering how that could be possible. I was like, how could other people do it? So I started looking it up and getting curious, and then I got more and more data and more evidence in my head that this is possible and that it could be me too and whatever. Started shifting my mind around that concept, and I tell you, within just a few months, I started to believe the thought that I could do this forever. And that's when everything changed, okay? So I just want to leave you with those little tidbits today. That's all I have to say at this moment. Now, this video is going live at a time where we are opening up our Eat to Live Academy, okay? Now, if you're interested in this mindset stuff, which we are just blabbing about this stuff all the time because it is the key to long-term and sustained weight loss and health and improved health as well, disease reversal, all the promises of Eat to Live. We are always talking about mindset because this is like 80-90% of the whole game. Once you get that mindset wrapped around it, everything else just becomes so much easier. So that's why we coach on this stuff. And that's why I've created the Eat to Live Academy. You might have heard about it before, but it's an 8-week digital course that you can take at your own pace. It's totally amazing. Basically what I did was, in my private coaching with my private clients, I found myself saying the same exact lessons over and over and over and over again. And I give you some of it today on this video earlier. This kind of stuff is what I talk about all the time with my clients, and I have a very specific private coaching program that I take people through every time they sign up with me to teach them about how to harness the power of their own mind to create these results for them, whether it's weight loss or health or whatever. I always say, it's like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. The answers were always here, right? They were always in your backyard. You just needed to learn them first and unlock them and start to play with them. The Eat to Live Academy is going to do that for you and help you understand what those lessons are so you can start to expand your mind towards health, longevity, eating healthy, weight loss, things like that. It is available to all of you, every single one of you who's watching this video right now. This promise of health and longevity and weight loss, long-term, loving this lifestyle, it is available to every single one of you. You have the capability too. And I want to see you unlock that possibility in your life and see how your life can change. And just see how vibrant you can become knowing that this and everything else is available to you in the world that you want to grasp hold of and change in your life. You can do anything you want. And I want to show you how that might be possible, just like we talked about earlier on this video, okay? So this is where you can learn all this stuff in the Eat to Live Academy. It's open for registration right now, but only for a couple more days. So if you want you get forever access to its 8-week digital course. It's me teaching all of these concepts to you in a very easy to digest, see what I did there, kind of a way. You can take this at your own pace. You can revisit it anytime you want and redo the lessons. There's a private Facebook group included where we coach hard in there. We're going to coach you on your specific issues too. You can ask any questions you want. Myself, Coach Nancy, Coach Karen are both in there. All of us are in there, and we do actual one-to-one coaching in that Facebook group. So make sure you consider this because, and I want to just mention, this is the last time this year I'm going to be opening this up. So you won't be able to get in on this for the rest of the year. Make sure you sign up, and you've only got a couple more days to sign up for it. And might even be closing when you're watching this video too. But I hope you love these mindset techniques. If you want to know more, sign up for the Eat to Live Academy. We're going to have so much more information about this to come as well, and we really hope to see you in there. Okay, thanks for watching this video. Make sure you sign up for the Academy at info.thewateringmouth.com/academy. And we will see you in the Eat to Live Academy when it opens up. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!